Hello there, guys. Welcome back. Now that I have all already it's all already modeled. So all I did was I took the camera that I was working with, and I was the projection camera, and then I went on and I started modeling everything with one of the pieces. Just very basic modeling. You see one for the I did one here for the furniture, one there. It pretty much eyeballing it. This one here, I made a copy of that, passed it to the side, did this, I did the floor. It's just simple geometry. We don't for projection. We don't need to create something amazing. We just need to create the basic stuff. So the model can create a little bit of parallax. So it's a very nice way to trick it. So what I did was the next step. The next step to do now is just to create the actual. Don't worry, guys. You're gonna get these files anyway. Is create an actual copy of the camera that we have, and then that's the camera we're going to animate. Just remember, there is one camera that is going to be doing the projection, which is actually painting with light. It's like, imagine that there is a projector, is a camera that instead of capturing light, just shooting light into the scene. In this case, going to shoot the actual texture that we were using. In this case, this image in the background. This image in the background, what it's playing is only using it for me to just so I can model stuff around there. There's nothing else that's going to be hidden later on. So what I did was I took my camera, which is the projection camera, okay, and I made a copy of the other one. So I made a copy one on top of the other one. So I'm going to take this guy, and I'm just going to go here, and I'm just going to go into projection camera transform, drawing over eyes, enable over eyes, and I'm going to make it the projection camera to be, I don't know, green, for example, and the camera that is going to be animated, I'm going to make it blue, for example. Yeah, so now I have two cameras. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to animate that camera, which pretty much is select the camera, control D, when the control D, and then went here and then select all these things, and I unlock them so I can animate them. So I'm going to look through the camera, the shot camera, which is the one that we're going to animate. I'm going to go into the first frame, and I'm going to press S. Well, I have to select the camera, and then I press S. So you see it creates a keyframe right here. That means that you got a keyframe, and I'm just going to do 5 seconds. I'm going to go to frame 120, and then I'm just going to move the camera a little bit like this, and I'm just going to probably create a little bit of a zoom like this, okay, and move it a little bit like that. I'm going to press S. Okay, so now I have this. So pretty much what I have now is this. Okay, so ignore the background here because this is only going to be just for showing this. So pretty much we created an animation of this. So if I'm gonna hide this guy, so I'm gonna go through and look through that camera, which is the shot camera. No, sorry, the projection camera. Because when I made a duplicate of the camera, I didn't copy the image plane. He only copied the actual camera, nothing else, because we didn't copy any of the connections. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to now work on the actual animation. So I already did what it was. I select the keyframe here, and I put keyframe there, and I press S, and that's the keyframe. So now I'm going to hide this so you don't get confused. So I'm going to select the camera, which is the camera that I'm looking through, this camera, which is projection camera. I'm going to select it. Then I'm going to go into the attributes, then I'm going to go into the image plane shape, and here I'm going to disable it pretty much. I say none. So now you see it disappear. So now I'm looking through the camera that I use for projection, and that for the modeling, which is the one that we're going to use for projection. So now that camera you see is static. Now if I look through the camera that I just animated, the shot camera, so you see that camera is animated. So I'm creating this animation right there. So I'll do this animation. Okay. So again, this camera, the blue camera, is going to be used for capturing light, and the green camera is going to be using for shooting light. Okay, so like I said at the beginning, we're not going to use RenderMan for this. We're just going to do this with the normal Maya software. Actually, we're not going to do any of the rendering at the end, but if you want, I'm going to show you how to do the rendering, but it's not necessary because the rendering that is going to happen for us for this project is going to be inside Nuke, where you can put more stuff and color correct and add layers and make it more interesting. Here it's a bit limited. You can use this for baking. You can actually use the projection to bake the information into the UVs here. Probably in the future I can show you how to do that. But at the moment I'm going to use this guy just for painting the scene with light. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything, and I'm going to apply one shader to everything for now. It's just a temporary measure. Okay. So I'm going to select everything. Okay. I'm going to press 5. So I'm in shader mode, and I'm going to right click here, and I'm going to say assign new material. I'm gonna go here into Maya. Again, I'm not gonna use the RenderMan for now. And then in Surface here, there is one shader called Surface Shader. And the Surface Shader, what it does, is just color. Okay, there is no shading information, no diffuse, no specular, nothing. It just, if you put something that is white, it appears white. If you put a picture, it's exactly the picture as it is. Okay, so, and that color is done by this setting here, which is the out color. So if I put anything here, that's the color. You see, there is no shading information, just solid color. So, and that's where we're gonna put through the actual texture. Okay, so I'm gonna project through this shader a texture using the green camera, the projection camera. So again, I got a shader for everything. So I'll select any of those. This is the surface shader, and then I'm gonna go here into out color, and then I'm gonna use this guy, which is to bring texture. Okay, so I'm gonna right click on it, and then instead of doing a normal texture, I'm gonna say create as projection. So this is very important. You need to do that, otherwise it won't work. So I'll say create as projection. Okay, so now I got this shader, which I assigned to everything, and now I have this shader here, which is got a projection, it got a file. Okay, let's look for the file first. And the file is the image that we use for modeling. That's this one, A308. So I'm gonna open that. Still nothing happened. Bear with me. So I'm gonna take the shader. You see something is wrapped up there, but nothing is happening here because you cannot see it. So I'm gonna go here into the actual projection node. I'm gonna tell him to go into, I think it's perspective. Okay, now you can see that there's a perspective projection there, so it's projecting information, but we don't have the angle, so we need to tell them which camera to use. So here there is a tag called camera projection attribute, so we had to link this projection to a camera. Just remember that the camera we're using to project is this one, the one we use for modeling. So I'll take this, I'll take the projection, which is this thing gizmo here in the window, and then here, that's the place 3D, so here's the actual surface, color, and the projection. And I'm gonna check with that camera, and that camera is the projection camera. So when I do that, nothing happened. And I think you have to press 4, 5, I press 6, and there you go, 6 in shaded mode. So now you can see that I'm projecting onto everything. Okay, I'm projecting this camera here, and I'm gonna be filming it with this. Now look at this. This is when things are getting really, really interesting. So I'm gonna look through shot camera. Okay, the one that we go on image. Seems like nothing happens. Okay, but look what happened when I do the animation. Look at that. So now I'm just gonna put it here, go into wireframe and shade. You see, I got geometry here. You see, now I turn everything into pretty much 3D with just a single image. Okay, but now if you see this, for example, you see I got this here working. That's fine. And the reason I tell you not to make it perfect is because you see that I got a little bit of the floor here being projected onto this guy, is because I can later on use an alpha, okay, and then just cut this all out, and it will project perfectly. I would not have any of these little bits. So pretty much the rule is just to create the geometry to encompass the whole projection. So at the moment here you can see, if I go here from this angle, and if I look, for example, this is the camera, this is what it's looking at the camera here, and we have something that is called doubling. So pretty much everything is being projected here, okay, here it's been projected, and it's been double here, and it's been double this, it's been double here, and it's been double on the back here. You see this green as well, it's been double here at the back, and it's been double on the floor, and it's been double there. So now what you have to do, guys, is paint that out. That's all what you have to do. So what you have to do is go into Photoshop and then start painting stuff out. We did a test earlier, me and Ration, on the floor, and what we did was this: we created. So what you have to do is pretty much project this, get these two sorted, create one texture for the floor, paint in Photoshop this stuff out, and then assign a new shader to this, do surface shader, new projection, camera, and the painted file. So I think I got it already here. I'm just gonna save this because that's the projection. And I'm just gonna go in here and open a scene. I think I got it there, but this is an old one. I think I'm just gonna go here, open that. So here we managed, this is an old version we did with a test. So if I go to the first frame, here we got exactly the same. We got a projection camera and we got a shot camera. So if we look through the shot camera, so what we did is look at this. So we do this, and it's not working. Is that the one we did? Let's see, projection setup. I haven't set up the projection yet. I think let's do it quickly here. So I'm gonna take, I think I'm gonna take this guy here. I'm gonna take this, I think these two, and I'm just gonna go quickly and saying assign new material. Okay, and I'm just gonna go into Maya surface here, and I'm just gonna apply the surface shader and the color here. I'm gonna apply a file, but as a text, as a projection. I'm gonna find a file, which is this one. Okay, and then I'm gonna pick up again this surface shader, this guy there, and if I assign the same material to this guy, to the floor, okay, I'm gonna assign the same material. So right click, assign existing material, and then that will be surface shader 1. Now in surface shader 1, I got the color with the projection. Now I need to set up the projection. So perspective, go here, and we use the projection camera. Yeah, projection camera. 5, 6. Now you see again. So now this guy is pretty much what we have in the other setup. This is an old setup. I'm not gonna give you this one. So you're gonna go the proper one, the other one. So I'm gonna go here to show camera, and this is what happened. Obviously, the same principle. You see the doubling. So what we did is we took an image, to take this image, original image, we brought in Photoshop, and we did this, pretty much. Let's see, what's the stuff? Let me find the picture, and I'm gonna show you this. Rachel is gonna do a tutorial on this, how to do that, and then once you give me the file, then I will put it together as a final tutorial. So I'm gonna go here into classes, week 4, still to sequence, projection test or images. So pretty much we took this guy, this one, yeah, and then we went to Photoshop and we did this. Well, you see, we pretty much took chunks from here, we put it there, we painted this, we painted some bits and pieces, got rid of the stuff on the background here so we can project it on the other one. So pretty much we just painted this because we needed to show this up on the floor, and this is what Rachel is going to do in the tutorial. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and then select this guy, just the floor, because the moment you see there's doubling, you see, look at this. There is doubling here. But now I take this guy, and then I'm going to say create new material, and then surface, and then here I'm going to apply another surface shaders, again just color, file, right click, create projection, okay, go here, perspective, and then go here into projection camera, and then I'm going to go and find that file that Rachel painted quickly with me yesterday, and we say open. Okay, so now it seems like nothing happened, but this needs to be fixed. But now look what happened. So now you see, now I got rid of that doubling that we had here. Okay, because this got a new shader with a new texture that has been fixed. So I'm projecting from the same camera by using this texture with a fixed. So if I select this guy and I use the old shader, assign system material 1, you see the doubling is there. A new shader with the new stuff, with a new texture. 2, you see, got rid. So now I have to go back into Photoshop, for example, here, and then go and start doing the same thing that I did here, and then doing it on this side here. So when I showcase that bit, it doesn't, pretty much doesn't show up. And that's how it is, guys. That's how you do projection. That's how they do a lot in the films. Very straightforward. Very easy trick. So I'm just gonna probably save this, but I'm not gonna give you this file anyway, but just for me. And I'm just gonna open the one that you're gonna get, which is this one, series projection. So I'm gonna open that. And now at the moment, this is what happened. We are on the stage here, the show camera. You see, now we need to fix that. You see, so you need to create one here, and then fix this stuff. That's fine. If you want to get rid of this, what you have to do is you have to go into the original picture here, go into Nuke or go into Photoshop, and then just cut this out, and then the rest black with an alpha. And then when you reproject this, then you're gonna reproject the transparency. Okay, so I'm gonna tell as well Rachel to do the cutout for all those, okay, as well. So how can they do it in Photoshop? And then I'll show you how to do it in Nuke as well. I think I can do it in Nuke quickly, actually, this one. But obviously, if we do that, then we have to save this file as not as a JPEG, but probably as a TIFF file or a Targa, because JPEGs, remember, they don't support alphas, only red, green, and blue, only 3 channels. Okay, so that's why I told you, do not worry, and make sure that this stuff matches perfectly, because once you put the alpha, this stuff will be transparent and you will not be able to see the thing in the background. And the same here, you got this stuff for you guys to do, so it will be a good exercise for you to just understand what's going on For example, you will create one from the floor, sort out all the floor. You see all the floor here. You see, and as well here you see what happened. For example, here, this needs to be fixed. This needs to be fixed. This as well here. Here on the floor as well. So you can project this on the floor. So here, for example, on this, you can then, when you do this, and you see you have to project the other one to pretty much stretch this out with cloning, then paint this out, and then that will give you that. The same goes here. The wall is quite interesting at the back because the wall has quite a lot. See the wall, they need to fix this stuff on the floor. If you want to project another one from this guy, then you have to paint the greens that you see. This had to be painted out there. The same on the walls. The wall needs to get rid of all this green in here and this stuff. This stuff I'm not sure. But you see that everything that you can see is only here on this bit. The rest is pretty much just repeating. But ignore the repeating bit, it doesn't really matter. It's just that it's been repeated because it's been projected. You can see you don't exactly over here. If you want to fix, you don't have to fix all the way here because that's not going to be shown. Just remember that you always have to fix whatever is that you need. Again, like the edges here, this stuff, it doesn't matter because if you project just on this guy, you just have to cut out this and create an alpha, and that will be this. Especially here as well, the wall. You have to paint these out. Pretty much clone this a bit here and then make it darker to make that it's in shade. And this guy, this is how it is. You just select this guy and then it looks like he's like it's a 3D shot. So I'm gonna just play for you. One more thing before I go. I'm just gonna select the camera, shot camera, and I'm gonna play around a little bit with the curves because when you create keyframes, if you go here into selecting the camera and you go into Windows, Animation Editors, you go into the Graph Editor here. If you frame all the curves here, you frame F. You can see that they are not straight. They just go a little bit and then slow down a little bit, and that will give you like a very slow start and a very slow end. So we're just gonna have to have them all straight. So what you do is you select all the curves and then hit this button here. Now make it linear. You see there are straight lines. Now you don't have an easy, what is called an easy in and easy out. So you're gonna go back here. You're just gonna play it. You can see. So that's 5 seconds. I did an animation of 5 seconds. It's a bit slow, but it's a good. Obviously, we're not looking at that, but it's a good exercise. So as well here, the shadows they need to be painted out so it goes out in when you. But you see, it respects everything. Look at this. You just go here and respect that. The thing with this is that if you do crazy camera move, going up and down crazy, then stuff getting really complicated. So that's when you do shots like this. They are normally shots. They are very simple. They're establishing shot. That's what you're gonna do. The brief. It's establishing shot. It's a pan or a zoom, not a zoom, a pan or a dolly, with a little bit of rotation. If you go a crazy rotation, then you have to create so many projections to fix in that. There is a point that you have to do the whole thing in CG because it's better like that. Because there's so much to reconstruct that it would be easy just to create everything in CG than actually create projection for everything. The same goes here with this sofa. You have to create an alpha for this stuff here. And that should be fine because you're just gonna cut out this, and then this is not gonna appear because it's gonna be transparent. It's gonna appear what is at the back, but at the back you have to go and paint this, and then project another one just for the back here. So you have to paint quite a few, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 7 probably. But it's a good exercise for you guys. So again, I show you what's the final what you're gonna do, but you see a simple image. We can turn it into a 3D sort of moving camera with no problem. Obviously, we render this out. We will render it probably with using Maya software. You go and render it here, called Maya software, because we're using just the Maya shaders, and that will render everything out, and then you can put it together in comp. But we don't want to do that because we can do all this setup much better and more efficiently in Nuke with way more tools to work with actually compositing, putting everything together. So for this, it's just for you to learn, to understand what is actually projection, because at the beginning when I was learning this concept, it took me a while to get my head around this, and I was just very confused with the fact that why a camera is at the same time a projector. And then with the theory and research, then I found out what was the issue. But there's something as well that you can just easily grasp if you just put your mind to it. So that's it. That's it for now, guys. I think next is gonna be Rayshon doing the cloning on this, and I will tell him which textures he need to paint, and then he will do the painting, the basic painting, and show you what he does or what tool he's using in Photoshop to do the painting. And then once he passes me those files back, then I will sit down and then do the actual putting it all together here, and then show you, and then just take a little bit further, and then that will be the end of this sort of week for this kind of concept. And then the next week we're gonna start working on bringing all this stuff together with your sketch and your distance sketch, and then bringing it all together in Nuke or Maya, the basic geometry. Like if you want to do castles or buildings in the background or stuff, then we just have to establish a distance. So when you do the camera move, the parallax works perfectly and it sells the shot. All right, guys, that's it for now. Right. Thank you very much, and I'm just gonna leave you here with the animation, and then I will see you next week. So thank you very much, guys. Bye bye.